What if I told you that one of the most important discoveries in human history was probably an accident? No scientist, no inventor, no laboratory, no one even knew what fire was. Yet somehow, our ancestors learned how to control something powerful enough to light the darkness, cook food, scare away predators, and eventually build civilization itself. But here's the strange part. The first humans didn't know how to create fire. For thousands of years, they may have only borrowed it. So where did the very first flame come from? And how did humans learn to make fire whenever they wanted, without matches, without lighters, and without anyone teaching them? The answer is one of the most incredible survival stories in human history. Imagine living in a world without fire, no light after sunset, no hot food, no warmth during cold nights, no protection from the darkness. As the sun disappeared below the horizon, your world became dangerous. Predators moved through the darkness, temperatures dropped, and every strange sound could mean death. Ancient humans survived this way for hundreds of thousands of years, but then something happened. Something that changed everything, not because humans invented it, because nature revealed it. Long before humans could create fire, fire already existed. Lightning struck dry forests. Volcanoes erupted. Trees rubbed against each other during powerful storms. Sometimes entire landscapes burst into flames. To ancient humans, these fires must have seemed supernatural. Imagine seeing a tree suddenly glowing, branches crackling, animals running away in panic. A bright orange light unlike anything else in nature. Terrifying, but fascinating. Most humans probably ran from it, but eventually, someone got curious. Someone stayed. Someone watched. And that curiosity may have changed our species forever. Early humans probably didn't know how to create fire. Instead, they likely stole it from nature. After a lightning strike started a wildfire, small groups may have approached once the danger passed. They could take a burning branch, carry it back to their camp, and keep the flame alive, day after day, night after night. Imagine how valuable that flame would be. If it went out, you couldn't simply light another one. You had to wait for nature to provide fire again, which might take days, weeks, or even months. So protecting the fire became incredibly important. Someone always had to watch it. Someone always had to feed it wood. The fire wasn't just useful, it was precious, almost like a living thing. Once humans learned to keep fire alive, everything began to change. The most obvious benefit was warmth. Cold nights became survivable. Humans could move into colder regions, but warmth was only the beginning. Fire produced light. For the first time, darkness wasn't completely dark. Families could gather after sunset, communicate, share stories, pass knowledge to the next generation. And then came an even bigger breakthrough: cooking. At some point, someone probably dropped food near a fire, or an animal killed in a wildfire was discovered cooked, and they noticed something remarkable. Cooked food was easier to chew, easier to digest, and often tasted better. Cooking unlocked more energy from food. Some scientists believe this extra energy helped support the growth of larger human brains. In a way, fire may have helped create the very intelligence that allowed humans to dominate the planet. But one enormous problem remained. Humans could keep fire alive, yet they still couldn't create it. Imagine your campfire dying during heavy rain. The last flame disappears. Now what? No matches, no lighter, no backup plan, just darkness. For a long time, this was probably a serious danger, until one day, someone noticed something strange. Two rocks striking together could produce sparks. Pieces of wood rubbing together became hot. The clues were everywhere. Nature had been hiding the answer all along. Humans simply had to discover it. Nobody knows exactly who made the first human-created fire. Their name is lost forever. But we can imagine what happened. Perhaps someone was shaping stones. A spark jumped unexpectedly. Perhaps someone repeatedly rubbed sticks together, not trying to make fire, just working, and noticed smoke. At first, it probably seemed impossible, then miraculous, then repeatable. Generation after generation, people improved the techniques, rubbing sticks together, using fire drills, using flint and stone, learning which materials caught fire fastest. What started as an accident became knowledge, and knowledge became power. For the first time in history, humans no longer depended entirely on nature. They could create fire whenever they needed it. This might sound like a simple invention, but it wasn't. Fire changed what it meant to be human. With fire, people could survive colder climates, cook more food, stay awake longer, defend themselves better, travel farther, and eventually forge metal, build tools, create cities, and launch civilization itself. Every candle, every campfire, every stove, every engine, every rocket can trace its history back to those first flames, back to the moment our ancestors learned to control fire. The strange thing is, fire was never truly invented. Humans didn't create it. Lightning had been making fire for millions of years before we existed. What humans discovered was how to control it. And that may be the most important difference, because the story of humanity isn't really about creating powerful things. It's about learning to control them. Fire was the first, and perhaps the most important. So the next time you light a candle, start a campfire, or turn on your stove, remember something. That simple flame connects you directly to ancient humans sitting beneath the night sky, protecting a fire they couldn't replace, and unknowingly taking the first step towards civilization. The fire in your home today is part of a story that began hundreds of thousands of years ago, and it all started with a single spark. Subscribe if you don't want to miss the next episode.